a little example of it fake shifting, just so y'all can see what it kind of looks like. Hold on one second. Again, it's kind of, I don't get why they make CVTs do that. I'm pretty sure it's just because older people are like, hey, my transmission ain't shifting, bud. I need a new car. You know, some of that nature, I'm sure. But it's not bad. It's just kind of pointless for it to fake shift. It's fine. It's not like, you don't feel it shift or anything. It shifts fine. I don't really have any complaints. It's just kind of weird. Really. It's not even weird. Road noise, it's not bad. It's fairly quiet in here, especially for how much this car costs. I don't really have much complaints about that. It's, noisier than my Ford Explorer, but I mean, that's kind of to be expected. There's no real problems with that, really. It's, it has decent road manners. It handles fine. It handles pretty good, honestly. It's not like something I would go and track day, put on track or whatever, but it drives fine. It drives how you'd expect it to. The brakes are pretty good. And here, maybe see some of that see that little CVT braking. That's kind of weird, but it's not bad. You get used to it. As you saw the speed kind of go down quicker, that little last section of me stopping. Again, we're going to do really basic acceleration, just so you can see there's not a lot that it has to do to get up to speed. I mean, it's pretty torquey, and this is typically how I drive it. It's not bad. Been averaging, as you can see, 43.9 miles per gallon. On the highway, it's closer to 50. It's like I've seen like 47 when I'm going like 70, 75 is probably closer to like 48, but it's not bad. It's pretty good, actually. Shit. Around town, this is kind of my average, around town, around highway and stuff. It's good. And here are some of my final kind of thoughts of the Versa. I think it's a really well put together car. I think it's a great deal. It made more sense to me. I was looking for a car because I have a long commute. This truck is okay. It's just the fuel economy isn't that great. It's kind of higher mileage. It's got 175 on it. 4.6, the V8, so it kind of eats gas. And I just needed a little car to get me where I need to go, just basic kind of transportation. And originally I was looking at 2015, 2014, that era of Honda Civics and such. And the thing is with those is they cost about the same amount as just getting a brand new Nissan Versa. Especially with the Versa, you have a warranty. You have a 3-year bumper-to-bumper, 5-year powertrain, and whatever else warranty. It just made more sense versus getting a 2015 Civic with 150,000 miles on it. Especially just because I drive a lot. I do 25,000 miles a year, and especially at 150, you'd be closer to having to do more expensive maintenance stuff. Not really for those cars, but brakes and whatever else. And with the Versa, if you buy it new and you take care of it, it's been taken care of. Versus a lot of people, their cars, they don't care. They just run them into the ground and they trade them in, and then you have to deal with their problems. Not always, but it's happened to me a couple times, especially with this truck. The owner just kind of ran it to the ground, and then I had to go and fix all the crap later. I just need something that I can just rely on, depend on, and hopefully get 5-6 years of no problems. We'll see how that goes. Again, I'll keep this updated and make more videos of the Versa. But I find them really well put together. They're just I don't really have any complaints about it. The only thing that I would be, again, slightly concerned about is just the CVT long term. Especially if you're financing something like that, just, you might have to account for, okay, I've saved some money with the cost of the car, but I'll need to keep $3,000 aside in case I have a CVT failure or something. But again, it might happen, it might not happen, and especially Nissan and Jatco have kind of a bad reputation in general, and even if they fix their stuff, it's still kind of like, oh well, they still suck. You know, the general public kind of, you know, it's easy to harp on companies, and they should, because, you know, they should have made good products in the first place. But it's kind of easier to hate on something than just kind of give it a chance and just be like, okay, this isn't that bad, actually. They've improved. Or, you know, it's just hard to do that, especially with something like a car. It's expensive. It can really affect people's lives, and especially if you know, if you're in the unfortunate situation of just not being able to afford to fix stuff, and then just not having a car. That's just awful, especially if you're still financing that and paying it off. So I can understand, especially with Nissan and Dodge, those are cheaper cars and they attract a different kind of audience than Hondas and Toyotas typically do. So it's more of a problem trying to be, you know, respectful. Like, it's kind of more of a problem for some people. It would be an inconvenience for everyone, but for some people, you know, I feel like they can't. Like, once that car's done, they don't have a car, or, you know, they can't do anything about it. So I understand, like, why people don't like Jatco. I understand why people don't like Nissan CVTs, but I'm willing to take a chance on it. And again, we'll see how it goes. I like the CVT right now. I think it's great overall right now. But other than that, you know, with the rest of the car, I don't see any concerns. I don't see any problems. I don't really think there's anything else that will be an issue with it. You know, you'll have your general maintenance stuff you'll have to do, but that's for every car. And especially if you want it to last, doing just a set 5,000 mile oil changes, blah blah blah, brake fluid flush, different, you know, just transmission fluid changes, all that stuff goes such a long way. Again, because this truck, these 3 valves, you know, like the 5.4s and stuff, they have such a bad reputation, and a lot of their problems can easily be avoided if you just change the oil. Like this truck, I change the oil every 5,000 miles, and I've had it since 116,000. And, you know, knock on fake leather here, it's been okay. Now, it's had its problems, but, you know, I feel like it would have a lot more problems if I just never changed the oil, transmission fluid, etc. And I think that's the biggest thing. A lot of people just think, oh, I just need to change the oil and rotate the tires. But there is you know, there is more to it than that. Although changing your oil does go a really long way. But I think the Versa, again, as I've said, I think it'll last a good amount of time for most people if they take care of them. You know, I think they're well put together cars. I like mine so far. And for me, in my situation, it just made more sense than buying new. And yeah, that's just my overall kind of thoughts of the Versa. I think it's, well, I'll keep this channel kind of updated with more videos and reviews and such of it. When you know, or if someone asks or has any questions, you know, I'll try and respond to them. But yeah, we'll just see how that car does. We'll see how it lasts, and hopefully have good luck with it.